Is real estate media corrupt or directionless? Collective consciousness is no longer trusting media in general and real estate media in particular. Media has lost its credibility and relevance like never before. I am Ravi Sinha, and one question that I am compelled to take up in the series Ask Track to Realty is whether real estate media is just directionless or corrupt. Someone pointed out that I just touched upon the corruption angle when I talked about barter deals between the builders and the media houses. I should have thoroughly exposed it for the greater good of greater number of people. Okay, so the story goes back to more than a decade ago. And it is the root of most of the evil, if not all, in the media space of real estate news. Some of the large English dailies had come up with marvelous marketing idea, as they called it then, of barter deals, which they thought was a win-win for both the media houses as well as the builders. They got into a barter deal with builders, got crores of advertising space with the publication without a single rupee exchanging hands. In such deals, the media houses, instead of advertising revenue, got that much exchange value of property in the upcoming project of the builders. Property supplements were launched by the mainline newspapers that violated all ethics of journalism to glorify the builders and their projects. Such was the clout of these builders that they even interfered in the editorial policy of these newspapers. They felt empowered and free to label the news copy and the journalists as negative if they did not like a news item. I am not happy with your story was thrown at the face of journalists in a way as if these builders have a divine right and the poor journalists are mean to serve them. I am a witness to this. And my reaction was blunt and brutal. It's not my job to make you happy. Hi. Thank you all for subscribing our channel and posting your comments. I appreciate. Trust me, I take time to read all the comments and I take your comments, feedback and queries with due professional seriousness. I would continue to make video on the topics and questions raised in the comments section as I aspire to make this platform dialogue driven. May I request you all to subscribe this channel and keep posting your comments. Our mail ID is given in the description and you are also free to ask questions through your short and crisp video. I will try my best to take your video queries and reply it in the subsequent video. Let's make this channel unique and dialogue driven. Thank you. The industry body of real estate, CREDI, every now and then dared to threaten the advertising seizure if they found the media houses carrying stories that was negative in their perception. Why should I advertise with this newspaper if it is so negative on the sector? This was a common question. It was as if they were doing a favor by advertising and not placing ads for their own vested interests of sales. I am only saying sales here and not brand, because the sector even today by and large does not understand anything about brand. Everything was hunky-dory till these builders started getting into the defaulter list. The journalists were offered property at a discounted rate by their own employers as a goodwill gesture of their hard-working journalistic career. Malaise was so deep-rooted that even the second and third ranked media houses got into such deals. But then, the proposed property was never delivered. And the marketing team of many of these media houses that earned such deals were all sacked. Since then, real estate media has never regained its lost ground. And rightly so. You allowed the builders to arm twist you and they did what it served their own purposes. And when the ecosystem is such, it only breeds further corruption down the line. So corruption got deep rooted into the system. Nowadays, the builders feel it is convenient to get their press release published through a leading news agency that is mindlessly carried by some 30-40 publications. So it serves their purpose. And some of the journalists with these news agencies are ready with a rate card. We call it PPR, that is pay per release. The cost differs as per size of the developer as well as the type of housing project. Affordable rate card being lower than the luxury housing project. These are the kind of journalists in this space who think proximity to a few select builders and giving them more than due coverage is a better way to enhance career than enhancing their skill sets. Do so for a few years and then join the builder's office at a senior position. Even if not so qualified, you get the corporate communication department where your experience as a give and take journalist is the best suited skill set. The advent of digital journalism. The advent of digital journalism that took away the large share of audience of these monopoly media houses was supposed to democratize the media space. It was supposed to give a space to well-meaning journalists who wanted to do honest and impactful journalism. To some extent, it did so. But then the builders have more money power for influence peddling, and they can do so by a fraction of the cost that they spend on monopoly media. So digital space too is full of builders influence peddling now. For a well-meaning journalist, it is not agenda. He will say what is right and then move on to the next story. But the builder will continue with their narrative. It's like thanda matlab Coca-Cola. We all know that thanda does not mean Coca-Cola. But then the narrative is so repetitive that it affects the collective consciousness. And builders have the last laugh here as well. As always, I will yet again be labeled as negative for spoiling their party. And I continue to be an outsider in real estate journalism. But then, who cares? Thanks for watching.